Last time I reviewed The Red Ape Family, a web show that was so badly produced that I already deemed it the worst thing I ever reviewed. It had terrible animation, painfully unfunny jokes, and the storytelling of a catatonic preschooler. In that review, I mentioned something called Shadowstone Park. So obviously, the right thing to do here is do a proper contrast of a shitty web show and a great one. Shadowstone Park is a web series created by Jason Steele, best known for his web shows Llamas with Hats, and of course, the flagship Charlie the Unicorn. Jason is known for creating surreal comedies, but Shadowstone Park is a lot different from anything else he's made. It features a paraplegic cat named Lark, who is a paranormal investigator in the titular park as he's the only animal there that can see ghosts. The premise is that there's a string of murders along Shadowstone, and the ghosts of the victims go visit Lark so he can solve them. The most interesting thing about this series is that it's the first thing Jason has made that actually has some sort of narrative to it. While his signature humor definitely found its way into it, it's certainly not just pure comedy like everything else he's done. I dare even say this show has left me in suspense. There's 3 episodes of it, so I'll be covering the first episode. Can't hurt to start at the beginning. It starts out with Lark napping on a tree branch when he's awoken by his friend Gloves, a horse who, as his name suggests, wore gloves. Turns out he's a ghost, which obviously means he's dead.
Would you like my help figuring out how you died? I know this is all very sudden, but time may be of the essence.
Yeah, I mean, you're the detective. Do you think I was murdered? Everyone in the park keeps getting murdered, and yet I never thought it could happen to me, a horse.
Like I said, Jason's humor is very much present here in its own way. With a premise such as this, keeping things lighthearted isn't a requirement, but it's fine to add it if you don't want it to be too dreary. Jason obviously didn't want this show to end up like The Ghost Whisperer, so he made it clear right away that this is totally normal for the characters, not just Lark. As Lark and Gloves converse, Lark's assistant, a pelican named Pecan, shows up.
Oh, hey, Pecan, I'm a ghost now, I'm dead.
She can't see you. She just knows someone's dead because I'm talking to myself.
Oh.
Bok, bok.
That's another thing Jason does right. Rules and plot points are established in a way that's not too in your face, but also hard to miss. It also helps to understand how Pecan just goes along with Lark's investigations, and that she isn't just entertaining the delusions of a psychotic cat. Also, I love her character. She can't talk and only communicates with Lark through bird noises, but she's implied to be a deadpan snarker, and it's great. Plus, the fact that she's buff from carrying Lark around everywhere is a nice detail. They go to Gloves' carcass, and it's pretty apparent that he's been murdered.
It certainly looks like you were murdered.
Oh, really? Well, that probably sucked. Why can't I remember it?
The dead don't retain the memories of their final 5 to 10 minutes of life. I have no idea why, but that always seems to be the case.
Weird, and yet poetic.
This is pretty important. It may sound like plot convenience, but it's a good way to justify Lark's role in the show. If the ghosts knew how they died, then this show would just be about Lark having to be a paranormal therapist, which again, is pretty much the Ghost Whisperer. The Good Place did something similar here. Whenever a dead soul arrives in the afterlife, their deaths are erased from their memories so they won't have to deal with the traumatic event. Lark deduces that Gloves' murderer was a bird, judging by the talon marks all over his body.
I always knew it would end like this. Flippin' weirdo birds looking at my butt and stuff from up in the trees. They do that, you know, look at butts when they think you can't see them. I mean, I would.
Totally not the point, but I like how Pecan is just sitting there listening to all of this and doesn't even attempt to deny that. Maybe Gloves is right about that. Lark goes to visit Darius, the blind owl, who is the king of the birds. Lark inquires if he knows of any birds that have gone bloodlusting lately, and wouldn't you know it, he has a clue. He mentions a harpy eagle named Crush has been rambling about wanting to kill horses, and he even tells Lark where to find her. Lark and Pecan are about to go apprehend Crush, but Darius has a joke he wants to tell first.
One joke before you go.
Sure.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Yes. Who, indeed.
Always good to see you, Darius.
Only Jason can make a joke where you can see the punchline coming a galaxy away and still have it land as if you couldn't. And that's why I love him. Lark and Pecan go to Crush's cave, asking her to show herself and pretty much surrender. Crush ambushes Lark, and it's become rather evident that she's legit losing her mind.
Funny. It wasn't funny! It didn't make sense! None of this makes sense!
I'm sorry, Crush. You need to leave before anyone else gets hurt.
But I want everyone to hurt!
You know I can't feel that.
I'm so angry, Lark. I'm traitor!
One thing I should mention here is the voice acting. Jason normally voices every character in his projects, so when you hear a voice clearly not his, it can be shocking at times. But Tiana Camacho really puts emotion into Crush here. You can almost feel it. Just listen to this exchange between her and Lark after Pecan subdues her.
You have to leave the park, Crush.
They're vicious out there, Lark. They're not like us. I'm too old. I won't make it.
I know.
Have I changed that much?
Yes. I'm sorry.
It's hard to focus, Lark. I can't tell how much time has passed. I don't even know how long I've felt this way.
Please, while you can still listen, you must leave.
Yes. Yes, I'll go.
Pecan?
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Crush.
In just 30 seconds, you can already guess that these two were once friends, and now they must part ways as one has become too much of a threat to everyone around her. Sometimes a few lines of dialogue can tell just as much story as a whole season. Compare that to the Red Ape family, where for all the dialogue and character interactions they gave us, we still knew fuck all about anyone and anything. So Crush gets exiled, and Lark helps Gloves cross over into the afterlife. This rule gets established in episode 2, but Ghosts can cross over whenever they want to, and at most only stay to find out their cause of death. Oh yeah, and it turns out Gloves actually ate his missing glove. They set that minor plot point up earlier, and gave it a humorous, anticlimactic conclusion. After some closing statements, Gloves leaves the land of the living.
I'm gonna cross over now. Thanks for everything. Don't let the wolves eat my body, especially my junk.
Bye, Gloves.
Always remember how funny my glove thing was.
I never really got the glove thing either.
Well, at least Lark didn't think it was worth killing the guy over. And that was Shadowstone Park's debut episode. It's got some good writing, witty jokes, and an intriguing premise. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10, which I feel is fair. There are 2 more episodes that I might revisit, but I think this review should be good enough for now. As for when episode 4 will come out, well, that could be a long time. Episode 3 was released in 2018, and Jason confirmed that Channel Frederator commissioned him to make all 3 episodes. He mentioned it in the Charlie the Unicorn Reddit post that he'd love to continue the series, and that the only thing stopping him is the fact that producing it is over his budget. So will Shadowstone Park ever be continued? Maybe someday, but I'll be patiently waiting for that day all the same. And I hope you guys will be patiently waiting for my next video too. This is the Nihilistic Snake slithering out of here.